Good morning and welcome. Happy Friday. Woo! Thank you that the week is going to be over. Wow, what a week it's been. What a crazy ride the markets have been on. Gold and silver just screaming higher. Of course, we knew, right? If you listen to me, I tell you ahead of time. I tell you when the bottoms are in and when to buy. And I'm going to tell you right now, get ready. Buckle it up. Strap on the seatbelt. Leave the driving to me. 800-951-0592, the physical delivery of precious metals, gold and silver, wealth insurance, now in 2 locations. That's right here in Phoenix, up in Johnstown. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592, the website at allamericangold.com. We get you updated right there. Make it part of your favorites. Go out there. You got to go out there every day. We got, 10, 20, 30 articles and videos every single day. Well, Monday through Friday. We try to take the weekend off. Monday through Friday. Most of the stuff up there we don't even talk about. We don't have time to talk about it all. It's only an hour-long show. But make sure you make it part of your daily routine. The Dow was down, 725 points yesterday. Surprised to say it's down again today. It was up all morning, and just in the last about 10 or 15 minutes, right now the Dow is down 60. S&P and NASDAQ are all lower as well. Gold's up $22. Yeah, you heard that right, $13.49. Silver up 25 cents, $16.57. And get ready. We've been talking about a silver move, and yesterday, out of the blue. So we've been running Silver Eagles, and you guys have been snatching them up, buying them up. We had a super sale going on, and Arlene and I we're booking, right? We're booking cases as the orders are coming in, and the bullion bank says that's the last case of unsealed old dates. And we were like, what? And as most of you know, we haven't even sold 2018s yet. We're going to start doing that today. I'll get to that in a minute. Here's the long story, real short. The cheapest Silver Eagles are all gone. There's a couple of sealed cases. And when I mean a couple, I mean a couple of sealed cases. Right now, U.S. Silver Eagles, these are going to be older dates. I don't know what date they are. They're $385 a roll. Once those are gone, and if you want, you can book 2018s today. They're $395 for 2018s. When I'm out of these last few cases here, you're going to look at $395 a roll, assuming silver. Silver's up 25 cents today. We get $16.75. Just book it. It's going to be $400 a roll plus. Here's what I'm worried about. There were tens of thousands of ounces of backdate Silver Eagles, and it's been this way for 6, 7, 8, 9 months, maybe, really pretty much a whole year. It's been that way. It all disappeared in less than 48 hours, gone. What my worry is the U.S. Mint has slowed production of silver significantly. Remember and maybe you don't, but in 2016, the U.S. Mint minted 50 million ounces of silver. 50 million. In 2017, they only minted 20 million because we had all this backdate stuff. And the backdates were cheaper. And you know me, buy the cheaper. What I'm worried about is I think the silver market is going to fly. Well, listen, gold and silver are going to fly, and you're seeing it today. that money that's coming out of Wall Street's got to go somewhere, and it's going to land in the gold and the silver markets. But what I'm worried about is if we see demand in silver like we've done in the last 48 hours and it continues, say, for another 2 or 3 days, I could see the mint being out because they had decreased production so much. And remember, and it's been a while. It's probably been, 4 or 5 years or so where we had out-of-stock conditions on Silver Eagles. And that would just stink. I'd hate to see silver. Remember, I've been telling you all along, I'm probably the least of it when I tell you, hey, silver's underpriced by like $4. Most people out there say, hey, silver's underpriced $6, $8, $10 an ounce. I would hate for us to get a $2 or $3, $4, $5 move in silver and you not be able to get any because the mint is out. But this is just what happened. And Arlene can back it up for me. This was yesterday afternoon. How lucky was I? We actually bought the last of what I'll call the cheaper U.S. Silver Eagles. So U.S. Silver Eagles, we've got 2 cases of backdates. You can buy it by the roll, buy it by the case. I don't care which. They're $385 a roll, $9,625 for the case. Then after that, everything's going to be 2018 unless someone sells the Bullion Bank backdates. And they're 2018s, what you can order now. They're at $395 a roll at 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Had a great Friday show lined up for you. We're going to hear what Jim Cramer thinks about the trade war with China when we get back. 800-951-0592. And I'm just, without getting too salesy, it's a really good day to call an order. How about that? 800-951-0592. U.S. Silver Eagles backdates $385 until they're gone. 2018 at $395 at 800-951-0592. Before we get to what happened yesterday, and who knows what's happening today. And again, it doesn't really matter day to day. I keep telling you that. But understand what's coming, which is important. But before we get to that, this is why I love our customers. Because we're not like everybody else. We're not. We're different. We don't call our customers. We don't, every week or every month trying to pitch you guys products. We value privacy, and we value our customers' time. We treat everybody with honesty and respect. We got some of the cheapest prices in the industry, day in and day out, 22 years. 99% of our business is from our radio shows and our customers telling their friends. I cannot tell you we've got thousands and thousands of customers. If I was to put a number on it, my guess would be 90% of them, if not more, order more than once. And that just tells you something. I don't think there's anybody out there that wouldn't recommend. There may be one or two that just, they just hate everything. But I would say the vast 99% of our customers would recommend us to their friends and their families. That tells you all you need to know about us. Complaint-free. We got the Better Business logos on our website. You can click on it. It takes you right to our page. You'll see there isn't anything there. It's empty. It's blank. Because that's the way we like it. But the thing that I love about some of our customers, we're old school, right? We do what we say we're going to do. If I tell you U.S. Silver Eagles are $385, that's what they're going to be, right? And our customers are the same way. Hey, if I said I was going to pay $385, that's what I'm going to be. And I got this card in the mail yesterday, and I wanted to share it because this really says everything about our customers and everything about us and what we believe in and what we stand for. Double and Wendy, it was a pleasure to meet both of you while you were in Johnstown. I want to thank you for a wonderful lunch and the prize I won. I was the last winner of the very last giveaway of the day. I'm one of those people you talk about on your show. I have a master's degree in cybersecurity, working my way up the corporate ladder. I worked 3 jobs to pay the bills, and I make $40,000 a year at my main job, so it's tough. Thank you for what you do. Best, Lisa. And Lisa, thank you for the card. That's just kind of the old-fashioned way of, when I, at least for me, and when America is a much better place. But this is real. When we talk about here, this is real. You go back 20 years ago, $40,000 was good money. I'll give you a great story to go along with that. When I was working at the drugstore, I was the assistant manager, and I got promoted to store manager. And this was in the early 1990s. I got a raise to $28,000 a year. And I thought I was like the richest guy around, right? I was in my early 20s, very like 21, 22, and I was like, I'm making more than all of my friends and how rich I was. And now you think about $28,000 a year. You're in poverty. You're on food stamps. You're on all of that stuff. And it's just the way. And they gave it away. They gave it all away. And now we've got they're calling it a trade war. Listen, if you really want to call it a trade war, fine. Then let's understand we've been losing this war for 25 years. If you want to call it a trade war, then let's call it one and understand we've been getting our backside kicked for over 2 decades. Because that's what's real. And this is why I get these letters, I get emails, I get them all the time, every day, from people saying, Joe, you're talking about me. I'm the guy, I'm the gal driving around a drunk person. I got a real job, I got a college degree, and I can't make ends meet. And, of course, you got all of these market pundits out there, and they're telling you how terrible it is and all of this. I've got a clip. This was Jim Cramer this morning. For you that if you don't know who Jim Cramer is, he's on the Billionaire channels. I call him the Booyah Man. I actually like him for a couple of reasons. Number one, he's passionate. He loves talking about stocks. He loves it. He's good at it. But he's also at least a little bit of a realist. He'll tell everybody, yeah, you better have some gold and silver to go along with anything that you're doing. But he was on TV talking about the trade tariffs going back and forth between the United States and China. And I want you to pay attention, because this is why the Dow was down over 700 points yesterday. It's why it's still down today. Ramon, let's play Cramer.
What I'm warning people here, what I'm saying is that...
You're saying they had their list ready. We didn't exactly roll out a list.
Well, you don't wing it with the Chinese. Like, the Chinese are so ready for us. I mean, one of the reasons why the Chinese dominate in so many different games and have their 2025 plan to take over certain industries is because they're very smart about what they're ready for. So Trump may have 60 billion, he may have 50 billion. It's kind of like, well, how about 50? How many flavors of Heinz? What do they got? 57 varieties? 57 billion. Let's put that on. I saw it on the table. They got the Heinz. No, China has every state. They know where it's coming, the pistachios. They are so on their game. And all I can tell you is that when you see the numbers and what they have, Mr. President, I never want to say he's out of his league, but he better be a little more. You better understand, these guys, they've been in a war against us for years, okay? And we just got up to the Yalu. And we're like sitting pretty here with General MacArthur. And they're like, no, I'm going to send the 8th Army over. And here's the 8th Army's game plan. They are so ready for what we have to do that it's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. They're so ready. I can't even tell you exactly what we're putting tariffs on. We're not sure what the number is. Is it 60 billion, 30 billion, 50 billion? So here's what the Chinese did. They took it easy on us, and they're so ready. They started out with something easy. I thought, whoa, it's only $3 billion, because the Chinese, not only did they list, hey, here's how we're going to start. Here's the 28 products. Pistachio, soybeans probably being the biggest one. If you're a soybean farmer, you're probably a little nervous right now. I'd be. But they listed every product. They also said, hey, by the way, here's the states we get that from. Right? So they let us know. And the reason why they started with 3, they're just saying here's the example. They cancel one Boeing plane order, right? I mean, because when they order Boeing plane, they don't order one, right? They order, probably, I don't even know, 20, 30, 50 at a time, each one of them about, each Boeing plane costs like $1 billion. They haven't even gotten to that yet. And Kramer, just like I said, hey, they've been at war with us the whole time, right? We've been sitting there playing the band. My Uncle Eric always used to say that if you're at a card game and you don't know who the patsy is, it's you. And we're the patsy. And already in inning 1, right, the Chinese are on the board. Right? They came out and said, okay, you guys, what? Not even sure. We don't even know what you're doing yet. But since you made a big announcement, here we go. We're going to start with something easy. Here's 128 products. Here's all the states we buy it from. We're going to start there. Well, wait now. What do you got? And then the big war starts. And this is what has really gone on. And you think about who in their right mind would have agreed to this stuff. And you know what? Here's the realities. We did. Right? This is the great negotiation of the United States. And the reason why we had to do it, yes, did business want their stock price to go up? They did. But the realities were the United States, we got a bigger problem. Right? We needed to pay for the debt. It all came down to debt. Yes, did J.P. Morgan want to give every Chinese person a credit card? They did. Did Apple want to give everyone a cell phone? Sure did. Buick or General Motors wanted them all to drive Cadillacs and Buicks. You know what they didn't understand? They didn't understand that the Chinese were playing a game that they were planning on winning. The whole key to that, it was about a minute? What was that, a minute, 15 seconds? The whole key to what he said happened in the very first sentence. Talking about China had a plan. And he said 2025 they are going to own, and he said, they have their hand-picked industries that they're going to own. And really, you know what that means? It's exactly what I talked about the other day. Right? China doesn't care about the trade deficit with the United States. China doesn't care about any posturing about tariffs. Because here's what they know. Hey, most of the stuff you really can't do anything about because the only industry is here. We own the whole thing. You've got nothing. Right? You've got nothing. We've already got it all. And we're just getting started. Because our main goal isn't to have a good trade relationship with the United States. That's not their goal. Their goal is much bigger than that. Their goal is to say, we're going to take our place as the new superpower of the world. Well, we were out there, let's face it, we were out there BSing everybody, talking about, how about balanced budgets and talking about free trade and all of these other things. Really what was happening the whole time was the Chinese was laying the foundation to take it away from us because they already knew. These guys are not very smart talking about us. That's exactly, they play dumb. The difference is they know we are. And they have taken advantage of us, and now we are in debt up to our eyeball. And we got big trouble coming. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back after the break.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, a daily broadcast from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, and we're upholding the legacy of Phyllis Schlafly, a constitutional attorney and articulate voice for traditional values for more than 70 years. Now, here's the president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, Ed Martin.
As the heated public debate over sanctuary city policies continues, one college is assuming the task of chastising the Department of Justice. The editorial board of the Cornell University student newspaper condemned arrests of illegal immigrations by the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement as, quote, federal overreach, end quote. That's right. The Cornell Daily Sun blasted the Trump administration and ICE for arresting illegal immigrants in Ithaca, New York. The newspaper even suggested that the university can and should do more to assist the city's enforcement of its sanctuary status. The paper wrote, ICE cannot come into our city, snatch our community members off the street in broad daylight without informing local authorities, and then refuse to divulge any further information, including the identity of the man arrested. The paper went on to applaud Ithaca's sanctuary status and the mayor's defense of these policies. The Daily Sun editors called on federal representatives to, quote, immediately demand answers from ICE regarding their latest intrusion into New York State, end quote. They conclude, if President Trump, Attorney General Sessions, and DHS Secretary Nielsen believe that their heavy-handed tactics will cow sanctuary cities like Ithaca into submission, they are sadly mistaken. The only mistake here, though, is that the editors of the Cornell Daily Sun might want to brush up on basic federal law. Enforcement of our immigration laws, as ICE's name so aptly contains, is key to maintaining the sovereignty of our nation and preserving the very freedoms, like that of speech, that Cornell's editors are so fond of exercising. We are left to wonder exactly what community standing the Daily Sun thought these illegal aliens had. ICE reported on their recent arrests across western New York, saying half had prior criminal convictions, 4 were fugitives, and 6 had even re-entered the country illegally after being deported. Thankfully, most Americans support these new crackdowns in immigration enforcement and are grateful to now have a supportive administration in the White House.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. Illegal immigration burdens our schools and social services and opens doors to criminals and terrorists. Outdated visa programs divert jobs from Americans. PhyllisSchlafly.com chronicles these outrageous unfair practices and provides answers. Go online to PhyllisSchlafly.com. Thanks for listening, and join us next time for the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
To use a word from Jim Cramer, it's embarrassing how unprepared we are in dealing with the Chinese. They had no intention of letting J.P. Morgan and Citigroup or Apple or Amazon or General Motors or Ford from coming in and dominating their market. And they let them play for a price, right? The price, your intellectual property. And we did it. And again, we're going to want it back. And you know what? The Chinese, they got their plan. We told you they're developing the new Silk Road. Jim Cramer just mentioned it. By 2025, they're going to have all of from the Atlantic shores of Europe to the Pacific shores of Asia is going to be dominated by the Chinese. And, of course, on Monday, right, there's an accident, gold's running, silver's no. Petrodollar is over. Right? The Chinese are launching, and I know you and I just take my word for it, crude oil is by far the biggest market. When you're talking about, hey, we got to buy stuff, in terms of dollars, it's not even close. You can take all the other commodities combined to get to oil. And this is why it's so big. They didn't start off with, I don't know, we'll start off with soybeans or we'll start off with corn or something like that. No. Right? Well, pistachios. They started out crude oil. And while we're messing around with trying to take away all the rights of everybody in this country, another great story. And this is just what is coming. It started at InfoWars, but it's been confirmed. Reuters has confirmed it, so now I'm going to talk about it. Citigroup. And again, I don't want to get upset. I don't want to start yelling again. These big banks are not, they're criminals. It's a criminal organization. It's worse than the mob. They rob you and they fleece you, and you know what? We sit there and we take it. They raise rates. They don't pay you they don't pay you for your deposits. They don't pay you interest for your savings. The Federal Reserve pays them not to lend out money. They hack your data. They steal your data. They shortchange us. Bank of America just got fined $42 million for lying and cheating their customers. Citigroup Chief Executive Officer Mike Corbett detailed new policies applying to small business, commercial, and institutional clients, as well as credit card partners. Apparently now, big banks are going to make up the laws. The policy designed to respect the rights of responsible gun owners while helping keep firearms out of the wrong hands. Okay? Citi's new U.S. commercial firearm policy. Apparently, Citigroup is deciding, you know what, we're just going to make up what the rules should be. Forget about the Second Amendment. Forget about the rule of law. We have the power, and we're gonna do what we want. Citigroup is now going to require any of their people that want to use their bank only to sell guns to people aged 21 or older, that gun purchasers pass a background check, which is already required, but anyway, restrict the sales of bump stocks or high-capacity magazines. If a client refuses to enact our best practices over the coming months, they are free to part way to the bank. If they opt not to, we respect their decisions and will work with them to transition their business away from Citigroup. We don't have the perfect solution to supporting our Constitution while keeping our children and grandchildren safe, he wrote. But we shouldn't let that stop us from doing our part. Yeah. Right? It's coming. It's here. It's right in your face. Our liberties are being stripped away, and I don't care what side of the gun issue you're on. I know a lot of you think, hey, that sounds reasonable. It's not reasonable. Especially now when the bank. Listen, the three largest banks in the country, let me get and I had it up here and I just lost it here. Give me a second here as we talk about them making all the laws now. Dominate all the deposits. The three biggest banks in the country gained $2.4 trillion in new deposits since the Great Recession. That's how much bigger they've got. And not because people got more money. They've just gobbled up more institutions. We have now today the lowest number of banks in the country since they've kept records since the Great Depression. We got less than 5,000 banks left in this country. You might say, that sounds like a lot. It's not. In the 80s, there was 18,000. We got 4,000 in change and shrinking. And now these banks are coming out and just saying, hey, you know what? Do what we say or you can't bank here. And the problem is, you know how it works. All of them go together, J.P. Morgan, Bank of America. Next thing you know, you can't use any big bank anywhere. Just another form of stripping away liberties and stripping away the Constitution. And while we're focusing on this ridiculousness, because that's what it is, it's ridiculous. The Chinese come out and talk about rates need to go higher. He's right. It's just not for what they say. Rates go, the economy and rates got to go. No, that's not why rates go. Listen, GDP is 2%. Big deal. Big deal. Most of your life, most of my life, an economy, a GDP reading of 1.8 would have had them talking rate cuts, not rate hikes. I'm going to tell you why they're going to go up. How much they're going to go up may be the scary part. They've consolidated power on us. That's what they did. There's a reason why they didn't break up the too big to fail banks. And really, what they did, and you didn't even know it, is they made it so the next go-round, you're stuck. You're not going to get your money out. You're not going to go to the sideline. This is real. This is what's happened. And now they're out there making their own decision. Remember the whole safety deposit box thing. Remember they all adopted it. Nope, can't keep gold, can't keep money, can't keep any of that in the safety deposit box. Why not? Because they don't want you to have it. Just like, you know why they created the Federal Reserve, right? You do. I hope you do. You probably don't. It had nothing to do with, making banking safer. It had to do with the four richest banking families in the world were upset because everybody was heading to America and everybody was going west. And they were taking the money out of the banks and putting them into these little small banks all along in the west. And they didn't like it. And they consolidated power. It's what they did. When they closed the banks in 1933, thousands of them never reopened. See, they don't tell you that part either. They never reopened. They got rid of them. Now, they're a little better at it this time around. They have we've lost almost half of our banks since 2006. Half gone. No one's even noticed. And now they're slowly but surely. First, think about what they did. They changed the law about safety deposit boxes. Now, Citigroup's going to start. Everyone's going to follow suit. Hey, you know what? You got to do this. You're a gun shop owner. You're a gun manufacturer. You're this or that. We're not going. You can't do this. Can't do that. Can't do that. I don't care what the law says. You're not allowed to do it. Now, if you're a little baker that doesn't want to sell a wedding cake to a gay couple, then you're going to go to prison. But if you're a big mega bank, you can dictate whatever you want. Just saying. Just saying. What you don't hear about, how they changed the laws on your money market accounts, how they changed the laws on your 401ks and your IRAs and all of these things. It's all because, like I said, it's planned. This thing is planned. And they've eliminated thousands and thousands of banks, and it's still not over. How could we have too big to fail, and then the three largest banks have $2.4 trillion more in deposits? We got one case left. We're down to our final case of backdate Silver Eagles. That's 25 rolls. They're $385. After that, we're up to 2018s until we run out of loads. 2018 Silver Eagles are at $395. Gold, I've got about 20 of each. I got $20 Liberties, and I've got $20 Saints. Either or, $1,400. 800-951-0592. Gold's up almost $23. 1,351. We're talking about $49 over spot. Silver up 25 cents, 16.58. Right now, the Dow is down about 60 more points. Trump is going to come out with a press conference. They had till today to pass the spending bill to avoid a government shutdown. I'm going to tell you, it is disgusting. It's shameful. $1.3 trillion of nothing but ridiculous spending. It's spending run wild. Right? Democrats. The Democrats, if I was a Democrat, I gotta be pinching myself. They got everything they wanted. The Republicans gave them everything. All for what? So, hey, the Republican, and let's face it, the Republicans, well, we got everything. Right? We got our tax cuts. We got our spending. Right? The Democrats, they got all of their pork projects that they wanted. I mean, it was just like drunken idiots. The only thing that didn't get done, and I'll say this, kind of funny, Donald Trump was ready to say, you know what? All the children, right, the illegal children that came over, we'll give them all a path to citizenship as long as you build the wall. That was the one thing that didn't get done, right? Because Democrats are like, nah, we don't want to do that. Besides, why would we do that? You gave us everything else. So we'll see. I don't know. He's threatening to veto. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but he's coming out at 1 o'clock to talk about the spending bill. And that's all I know. I think he's going to sign it, but there's going to be a news conference, $1.3 trillion. And like I said, if Hillary got elected, there's no way the Democrats get this stuff. They got to just be besides themselves at how lucky that they've gotten. They can't believe it. I can't believe it. Patriot Radio News Hour. They're surrounding us. Make sure you have something where only you know where it's at. A hedge against what you know where the dollar's going. Make sure you're ready. 800-951-0592. Final segment, Patriot Radio News Hour. Man, I wish I get too fired up. I do. It's just so in my face. And I know I spend more time on it than anybody probably should, but it's amazing what's happening. I can't believe it. I can't. You know, the announcement from the head of Citigroup today, it's ridiculous. But it's happening everywhere. Our freedoms are being taken away piece by piece, bit by bit, but it's happening faster and faster and faster. The clarifying lawful overseas use of data, a.k.a. cloud, the Cloud Act. It's another bill that was recently introduced to establish new standards for when governments want to obtain information stored outside their jurisdiction. The Department of Justice and major tech companies are all supporting the bill. Of course they are. Suggesting it will advance consumer rights. What does the bill do? It allows law enforcement, whatever they want to, without warrants, to go to these tech companies and find out everything you've done. And just, think about how dangerous this could be. And this is coming out of the executive branch. It's going to be able to sidestep Congress when it comes to data sharing agreements. The bill would give the Attorney General and the Secretary of State the authority to enter into data exchange agreements with foreign governments without congressional approval and all of this other. I mean, it's happening so fast, almost impossible to keep up with. But I just bring it up because just another thing, the thing with Facebook, what's happening with the Citigroup now and guns and who can do business with them and who can't, right? Forget about what the laws of the state, what the laws of the land are. We'll make our own laws, and if you don't like it, get out. Then, oh, by the way, all of our buddies are going to come with us, and now there's nowhere for you to do business with. And they just are consolidating the power. And quite honestly, if you aren't hedged against what's coming, you're just going to be swept up like everybody else. U.S. Silver Eagles, I got backdate rolls at 385. There's I think one case left. Arlene's on the phone right now, so I don't know if that's true. 385. The 2018 Silver Eagles, 395. And again, she's on the phone, so I'm not sure, but I had $20 Liberties, $20 St. Gold pieces, either or at 1,400 at 800-951-0592. Gold just hit the highs of the day. Yeah, gold's at the highs of the day right now. Creeping up here on $1,352, $53. Silver, it's up near its highs of the day as well, pushing $1,660 right now. 800-951-0592. Everyone take care. Before the weekend gets here, take care of your business. Get you some of that wealth insurance.